So this is Jay Hughes with Press On, and with me today is Nick Carpenter. Nick is the founder of Sales Clubhouse and is one of the most sought-after marketing consultants for local business owners who want to use technology for inbound lead generation and to build better referral relationships. Nick is married to his wife, Jessica, and they've been married for the last 5 years. They have 2 sons. They live in Arlington, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Who, by the way, Nick, I believe they pulled out a big-time victory on Sunday, so that was nice. Nick also served in the Air Force prior to his career in real estate marketing. He's been working in the real estate and mortgage marketing space the last 10 years. And again, it's my pleasure to have him with me on our call today. Again, Nick, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. So, Nick, I know you're a marketing expert. You've been doing this for 10 years. You have a lot of ties in the mortgage industry, the real estate industry. What's the biggest mistake that you see with regards to loan officers, specifically with them? What's the biggest mistake that you see them making regarding their online marketing efforts?
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of times with the mortgage business, it is kind of an old school business, and so a lot of loan officers just ignore online marketing completely. The ones that do some online marketing, to me, the biggest mistake I see people making is that they're just not making enough content.
Okay.
It's like right now today, we're all kind of like our own media company. I like this idea of being our own paparazzi. The celebrities have a love-hate relationship with paparazzi because they love them because they keep them relevant, right? They keep them in the media, but they hate them because they catch them doing dumb things sometimes,
right.
Whereas you and I, walking around with our cell phones in our pocket, we can be our own paparazzi, right? We can be our own media company, and a lot of times loan officers, they're just not putting out enough content. They're not putting themselves out there in the world enough, and there's a ton of ways to create content, right? It's like this interview here is a piece of content. Creating blog posts is content. Videos are content. Creating Facebook ads or putting out posts on social media is all content. It's just a matter of figuring out which one you're most comfortable with and and just really sticking to it and just making sure that you're being consistent and putting out content so that people can get to know, like, and trust you and want to reach out and do business.
Sure. I'm sure there's some loan officers who are thinking, well, yeah, I mean, that sounds good, and I know I want to generate more content, but I haven't done it. I don't feel comfortable with it. I don't feel like what I have to put out there is gonna be something anybody would read or anybody would listen to. How would you answer that objection?
Well, to me, that's an ego objection, right? Because that's just like a fear. The thing about it is, anybody that's a loan officer that's in the business that's closing deals every month, okay, they already have to be some level of expert. And compared to the masses that are out there looking for this information, they are definitely an expert. So, a loan officer that has their mortgage license, they probably already know more about this business and how home loans work and that kind of thing than 99% of other people.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, so you're already an expert. It's just a matter of just believing that, right? You just got to take that internal belief and say, hey, what I know is important and it's going to help people. And one of the best ways that I help loan officers initially start putting out content is with videos, because video is one of those things that's just super easy. It's really fast. You can just pull out your phone, shoot a selfie video, upload that video to Facebook and YouTube, all within a matter of 5 or 10 minutes. And so that's one of the fastest ways to start putting out content. And one of the ways that they can do it is use conversations that they're having during their day-to-day business. So what I mean by that is, like, if a loan officer has a conversation with a home buyer, okay, they're a renter trying to get their first house, and maybe a question comes up during that conversation about what exactly is included in a mortgage payment. And so the loan officer explains to them the PI, TI, and they go through that whole thing. Well, that's like a perfect piece of content to put out there, because if that renter has that question, there's probably a lot of other renters in their market that have the same question, and maybe they're going to Google or they're going to YouTube looking for that answer. And so when you create that content, just based off of day-to-day conversations, you're going to answer and start building up this library of information out there, and it's just going to help more and more people find you.
Yeah, very, very well said. I think that you nailed it. I mean, we loan officers got to believe, you are the expert. If you're in this business, you do know more than 99% of the people out there. And I think we get so familiar with, the terminology, PITI, and well, everybody in my business knows that. Well, yeah, but the borrowers you're talking to, they don't. And so pushing that content out there, so that's excellent. So great point. So loan officers, just get started. Like Nick said, just get started, begin to push that content out there. So how about this, Nick? I know there are loan officers. I know you work with them. I definitely do. They're new to the online marketing world, and so we get questions like, well, where do I even start? What social media platform would you suggest to people if they don't have any online presence at all? Where do you suggest that they begin?
Well, from a social media standpoint, Facebook by far is the number one place to be. Now, I will take a step back and say that for me personally, it's critical that you have a WordPress website, or you have something that's yours, okay, that's like your home base, your starting point for everything that you're doing online. So if you don't have that, you need to have that first, all right? But if once you have, like a home base, okay, which for me is a WordPress blog, once you have that, then from a social media standpoint, for sure Facebook. Everybody's already there. Right, Facebook just last month had their first day ever that 1 billion people logged into Facebook in the same day within a 24-hour period. So, everybody's there, so you can already, interact with everybody. It's like a backyard barbecue, Anytime you come there, you just never know who's going to be around, but you can always be having these different conversations. So it's easy to get engagement, and of course with Facebook ads, it's just super cheap. Paid traffic that you can get today, to your website. So definitely Facebook by far is where everybody needs to be.
That's where they need to be. Okay, so then a follow-up question to that would be, there definitely are loan officers that don't have that Facebook business page for whatever reason. Some just have chosen not to do it. Maybe there are some where their mortgage company doesn't allow that. What are your thoughts on that? What do they do if their company won't let them set one up? If they will let them set it up, what's the best way to go about getting a Facebook page rolling?
All right, so yeah, it definitely is a challenge, right, for some places, particularly within like New York, for example. That state is much more difficult on loan officers than other states are. So it's, it is, some places it just depends, right? The regulations are different in every place, and of course every company creates their own regulations. So depending on if you're at a giant company like Guaranteed or one of these places, they're going to have different rules than the mom and pop mortgage shop.
Right.
So if you can have a Facebook page but you just don't have one, then all you do is just log into Facebook, and on the left-hand sidebar, you have the ability to create a page there. The actual link is facebook.com/pages/create.
Okay.
And that will let you create your page. So it's pretty simple. You just put a little information. You want to put a cover photo, a profile photo, and then you can start building it out. One piece of advice on creating your business page. Okay, once you have your page set up and you've put your first post or whatever, don't go and invite all your friends to the page. All right, that is just like the worst. To invite your 1,000 Facebook friends on your personal profile to come over here to your business page when there's not even anything there yet. Like, create a reason for people to want to opt into the page, or that kind of thing, versus just going and begging for likes. I personally like to just grow the page organically, through the content that we're posting or through the Facebook ads that we're running. That's pretty much how I kind of do it. If your company won't let you have a Facebook business page, you still have your personal profile. All right, so obviously you have to be somewhat aware of what you're posting. I never ever tell people to, I recommend that you never post about rates ever. Never ever, because when you post rates, that instantly triggers all these disclosures and disclaimers, and it's just a pain, okay?
Right.
And so Plus, like, people don't even know what interest rates mean. Like, they don't even understand what the number means. So it's better just to post content and information, and you can do that from your personal profile. You can, the videos like we talked about a minute ago. Okay, you can still post those videos to your personal profile. Still use those for, kind of lead generation and farming within your Facebook network. So there are some ways to do it. Another option could be, okay, maybe you can't have a personally branded business page. It can't be Nick Carpenter, loan officer, but maybe you could have Arlington Real Estate Report,
Right.
or Arlington Homeowner Club, something like that, where you can be posting out articles and great information that kind of like behind the scenes does link back to you, but it's not your branded loan officer page.
Right.
So that could be an idea, right? So ask your company if you can do that. And then also look at other people that do have pages. So your realtors, okay, your accountant, your attorneys, your financial planners, home inspectors, loan officers, other people, or other people that you're working with. See if there's a way that you could be featured on those pages, right? An example is kind of like, look, this interview, okay, I'm going to talk about Jay on my page, Jay's probably going to talk about me on his, and we're like both going to be benefiting from doing this. Okay, you can do the same thing as a loan officer with your realtors or with the other people I just mentioned, and go and get featured on their pages, right? Do an interview with them or answer some questions for their audience, and find ways that you can just help other people out, and so you can still benefit from Facebook even if you can't have your own page.
Yeah, outstanding answer. Real quick, I want to make sure we got that right. So I think you said for those loan officers that haven't created a business page for themselves, it's Facebook/pages, or was it page and then /create?
Pages, yeah, with an S.
Pages with an S and then /create. Okay. And then the other follow-up question for you on that, Nick, and I love that you said, don't just invite all your friends. You said create a reason for people to join. Could you give maybe an example or two of what you mean by that? I know you said, grow that page organically, get some content in there, but is there anything specific that you can think of that a loan officer might do to kind of give them people a reason to want to follow them on their page?
Yeah, so on your page, when you're first setting it up and just throughout the time of having your page, okay, so there's kind of two ways that people use Facebook pages, okay? One way that some people use it is to grow a gigantic audience and, have thousands of people connected to this Facebook page so that whenever they put out a post, they get a lot of engagement with the page. Okay, that's one way. It's not the way that I personally do it, but that is one way. The way that I build the page is through running Facebook ads. I run cheap Facebook ads, $5 a day, $10 a day, and, to generate leads. I'm not doing it to grow the page. I'm doing it to generate leads or send people to my website, but it's just a natural byproduct of running those ads that you're going to get a few people a day liking the page. So just by running, let's say for example a loan officer started out with $150 a month in Facebook ads, they're probably going to get a couple hundred people a month, or 100 people a month or something, to like the page anyways.
Okay.
So it's going to grow naturally that way. But as far as putting some content there, you just have to think about the audience, right? So like when I start working with a loan officer, we do this survey that helps them create a customer avatar for who they want to work with, right? So a lot of times people don't have that, so they're just like, oh, I just want to grow this page. Well, no, you want to grow the page with people that you want to be there,
Right.
And so once you have that customer avatar nailed down, it's a lot easier to go out and find content or to make videos or create the information that person is going to care about.
Yeah, because now it's targeted. It's a targeted message at the person that cares about the information you're presenting.
Right. It's like, imagine if it's the difference between, okay, I'll give an example. I work with a guy out in Arizona, all right, and this guy, in his customer avatar, he prefers to work with people, like he's really into outdoors and running and fitness and stuff, and so he prefers to work with people like that, right? Like when he looks at his customer avatar, being physically fit is something that he resonates with, right? And so when we create content, and when I help him create videos and content, that's always in the back of the mind. So for example, one of the blog posts that he wrote was the 7 best Mexican restaurants for cheat day. Right? And okay, like me, I'm not as into that lifestyle. Okay, so cheat day isn't important to me personally.
Yeah, it's cheat day is 7 days a week for you and I, Nick.
Yeah, right. So so the thing is, but for him, okay, and when he goes out and markets that Facebook, he can put that article on Facebook and run it as an ad, and that article is going to resonate with his customer.
Absolutely.
Because they understand cheat day.
Right.
And so it's like that, right? You got to know who you're trying to reach, and then create that kind of content that's going to speak to that person.
Excellent. Outstanding answer. Couple more questions for you. One would be, we work with, you and I both work with loan officers. We work with real estate agents who might have this objection where they're like, look, everything I do is relational. I've got great referral relationships. Nick, why in the world would I need an online presence when everything I'm doing is already offline and it's working pretty well for me? How would you answer that objection?
Hey, I would say, oh, by the way, I'm never too busy for your referrals. That's the old. I get the Brian Buffini, right? I mean, I came up in Brian Buffini in 2005, and so I love referrals too, right? Jay, you probably love referrals.
You bet.
I mean, that is absolutely the best way to build a business. Okay, hands down, without question, a referral is better than any internet lead. Okay, it's better than anything you're going to do online because you just have, at least me personally, my closing rate on a referral is got to be close to 100%.
Right, yeah, you get trust.
Whereas obviously
trust there.
Yeah, and obviously it's not, when I'm doing things on the internet. So here's the thing, right? I love referrals too, and your online marketing, it's not to replace that or take away from that, but rather it's to enhance your referral business. Okay, it's to support that. And really the idea is that you use online marketing to support and grow your offline relationships. So like for me, when, let's look at Facebook ads, for example. When I talk to loan officers about running Facebook ads, okay, yes, you're going to get home loans and people right now that want to buy a house or, sell a house or whatever right now today, and that's going to be awesome. Okay, so you can run Facebook ads, spend a couple $100 a month and make a couple thousand easily. But the bigger value of Facebook ads and doing that type of marketing to me is that it's a relationship builders. So we can, let's say for example, you go out and run ads and you're generating home buyer leads, right? Well, I use those home buyer leads as like bait to get new realtor relationships. So I'm going to a realtor and I'm, obviously there's different ways you can do this, kind of talk about it on Facebook. So that would be the thing, right? You could generate some home buyer leads and then go and kind of talk about it on Facebook, and you get people that start messaging you like, hey, tell me about these leads. Do you have some leads I can work? How can we work together? And that kind of thing. And like that's really the value of it. So yeah, when I talk about online marketing, I'm definitely not looking to replace relationships or get in the way of that. But I'm looking for online marketing to enhance my offline relationships or to help me grow, better relationships with referral partners.
Yeah, I mean, it works together. Both work together. It's not either or. Yeah, excellent. So this was super helpful today. I know, Nick, there's going to be a ton of loan officers, real estate agents going to listen to this call today. It's going to be very, very helpful for them. Before we close, is there anything maybe that I missed you want to make sure and touch on before we kind of wrap things up?
Well, I just want to touch again on the video. I mean, video today is so incredibly beneficial to your business. In both ways, because video can help you with your paid traffic. Okay, if you're like, man, nobody goes to my website, well, it's real easy to run some Facebook video ads, and get people to your website. The other thing is, if people say, oh, I don't have any, I'm not on Google, or I want people to find me when they're out here searching for things online.
Mm-hmm.
Well, video does that too. When you combine YouTube videos with a WordPress blog, it's just something powerful about it that takes over Google results. And so, highly recommend if loan officers are not making videos, and I get the compliance side, and obviously occasionally there's hiccups there, but as long as you're not using trigger words like rates or talking about certain demographics of people and that kind of thing,
right?
Just be generic, and then always the idea is just to establish yourself as an expert, and then and then initiate that next level, right? Whether that's a Facebook chat, a phone call, an email, they opt in for your free thing, whatever that is. But man, I love videos, and people, if you're not making videos today, you should start, right? And just jump on it. Start with those common questions, and then you just post those videos on Facebook and YouTube, both separately, so that you just get that maximum coverage. So definitely that, and if anybody needs help with Facebook ads or any of these kind of things that we talked about today, feel free to reach out to me. My company website is salesclubhouse.com, or my personal blog is Nicholas with a U Carpenter.com. So my first name is like Nicholaus, because my mom thought she would be funny. So yeah, that's it, man. Again, I appreciate you having me and letting me share some of this information. Hopefully it really helps out your audience.
Well, I think it will. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think a lot of things you touched on today, my encouragement would be, if you're listening today, you got to just jump in and get started. Go to my website at pressingon.com, go to salesclubhouse.com, go to nicholascarpenter.com, look at the WordPress blogs that are there. That's so simple. It's not challenging to set one of these things up. So you, as Nick said earlier today, so you have a home base, you have a place to send people, and then link back to YouTube or link to your Facebook page. It's not overly complex. It just takes you getting started. So for you today, my coaching question for you would be, what's the one thing that you're going to do? What's the one takeaway from today's call that you're going to implement and have complete here in the next 7 days, so that you are further along down the line with regards to your online marketing efforts? So again, thanks so much, Nick. I really appreciate you being on the call today. Again, Nick Carpenter, founder of Sales Clubhouse. You can check him out at that nicholascarpenter.com, salesclubhouse.com, and reach out to him. If you need some help, be sure to reach out to Nick and ask him, and I know he'll be available to answer some questions for you and get you going with your Facebook ads. So again, this is Jay Hughes with Press On, helping you to close more loans in less time.